Hey guys, and welcome to another video. Today, we will be talking about this boombox. So this is the Panasonic RX FM15 boombox. This model boombox I have came out in 1986. I checked that because I opened it up once to clean it, and I checked the motor, and the motor said the manufacture date. And it looks pretty much like any other 1980s boombox. It has the radio, volume sliders, a cassette player, and C-size batteries and stuff like that. However, what this video will be about is retrograding the white buttons on here. So you might think the buttons already look pretty much near perfect. However, if you look at it at the sun or any lighting, it has a little bit of yellowness into it. So I was thinking I was gonna take it apart, take out the buttons or retrograde it, and then put it back on. And since it's been pretty cold recently, it's probably gonna take longer to retrograde these. I know there's methods where you put it on a pot and then you let it warm up in overtime and stuff like that, but I don't want to risk damaging the plastics that way. So, all right, let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna start by flipping it over and then taking out the batteries before opening it up. After that, let's now unscrew all the screws so that we can open it. The last thing we need to do in order to open it is take out these plastic sliders. Alright, this is what it looks like inside. Let's take off the handle. In order to get one of the pieces needed for retrograde, I'm gonna have to undo the speaker to get there. And now it's time to take off the cassette player play buttons. Alright, so this is the front deck of the cassette player. It's pretty dusty. Same goes with the handlebar. Alright, so tomorrow is the day I start retrograding all the pieces I need to retrograde. So see you tomorrow. Alright, so it's the next day. Today's the day where I start retrograding the plastic keys. It's quite windy today, so I hope they don't fly off or anything like that. So let's get started. Okay, so now I wash the keys and I just put them in this bowl. This is what I'll retrograde them in. Alright, so I'll use 3% hydrogen peroxide. And guys, if you do this, make sure you wear gloves or else you might get chemical burns. I'm not wearing gloves because I'm trying to be extra careful, but make sure you wear gloves. And now it's time to dilute it with some water. Here's the thing though. The thing is, air bubbles can get trapped inside the keys, so that's why I had to use a fork to try to get rid of the air bubbles inside. If you're trying to get rid of the air bubbles, make sure to wear gloves when doing that. Alright, so before putting it outside, I'm gonna need to cover it up. Alright, so I covered it with a shirt to trap as much heat as I can inside. Here it is outside. Alright, since it's been pretty cold recently, I'm gonna let it stay out there as long as I can before the rain comes. And while I was handling the hydrogen peroxide, I kept washing my hands just in case it would go on me. Just wear gloves. Just wear gloves. So tomorrow is the day I'll wash the front deck and the handlebar and stuff like that, while also cleaning the boombox a little bit. Oh yeah, it's so windy that I had to place a bowl of water on the fabric so that the fabric itself wouldn't fly away. I mean, just hear how windy it is outside. But yeah, once again, see you tomorrow. Alright, so it's the next day. I'm gonna go check up on how well the retrograde is doing outside. But before that, I'm gonna get the front deck and the handlebar and I'm gonna wash them. Because they're pretty dusty. Let's get started. So I wasn't able to fully record me washing both the front deck and the handlebar, but I'll only show clips right now. Alright, the front deck and handlebar is now clean. Just need to wait for them to dry. Alright, now let's check the retro-rated keys. Upon checking them, I see some air bubbles on them. Okay, so now what I'm going to try to do is I'm just going to try to get rid of the air bubbles via fork and moving it. Alright, so after I got rid of most of the air bubbles, it's time to now put it back. And I'm going to need to refill the water bowl. Alright, I filled it up with soapy water and now I'm weighing it down. Alright, so apparently the weather actually says it's going to start raining tomorrow, which means I might have to end the retro riding process early. But you know what, I like rain, so it's fine. And then I'm going to let the front deck and handlebar dry overnight, so it should be fully dry tomorrow. And yeah, that's about it. So once again, see you tomorrow. Alright, it's the next day. And since it's going to rain today, I am going to have to cut it short. I originally wanted to do it for a couple more days, but since the rain's here, I'm going to have to cut it short. But yeah, let's check the handlebar and front deck to see if they're dry first. Okay, so upon looking at the items, both the front deck and the handlebar does seem pretty dry now. Alright, now that it's pretty much dry now, let's go check on the retro-rated keycaps. Okay, so after taking in the keycaps and looking at them, they don't actually look like they have any air bubbles on them, but now it's time to wash them. I don't have a full recording of washing all the keys, however I do have some clips I provided. Okay, now that I've washed all of them, I'm gonna have to let them dry for a day. Okay, so since it's the next day now, it's time we finally put the boombox back together. Let's get started. Okay, so before I put it back together, I'm gonna have to clean it first. Alright, it's pretty much clean now. Now we can start reassembling all the parts. Alright, now I just need to put the handlebar on and then the front deck. Alright, it's now time to put the front piece on. This part is a little tricky, but I think I can do it. Alright, now I need to put the screws in. Finally, I can screw in the antenna. Alright, now it's fully assembled. And almost forgot to put the battery cover on. Alright, all the keys are retrograded and now the boombox is pretty much clean. And fortunately, there's no more dust on top. And if you're wondering where I got this at, I actually found this at a thrift store for only 15 bucks. However, when I took it home, the audio was playing slow. But all I did was change the motor speed, so that should have fixed it. I've used this boombox for quite a while now, and after 39 years, almost 40 years, I think I'm gonna retire it. You know, since it's getting old, the gears are getting pretty old now. I was actually thinking of getting a 3D printer, so that if any gears ever break in here, I can 3D print the gear. Comment down below if that's a good idea though. Actually, let me just show you what it looks like while it's working. Oh yeah, I almost forgot, here's a before and after. You can go pause to see what each one looks like. But yeah, I hope you liked this video. I was able to clean off the dust and even retrowrite the keys off of this boombox. And since it's been pretty cold recently, the keys wasn't able to retrowrite that well. And I was short on time, but it's fine. And yeah, goodbye guys. Wait, it's actually raining. It's starting to rain more. It stopped raining.